is that when objects are falling, we can actually hit them because the physics engine is on. And we can do all kinds of interesting things with those objects. So that gave us the idea to say, okay, let's start manipulating this game. So we've got all of our elements. So the first thing we're going to do is start evaluating our hat. We're going to change what our hat looks like. Now, in order to do that, we're going to make a sprite for that hat. We're going to go into Anime Studio. I'm pulling it right up into the screen. You should be able to see it now. I'm going to make a new animation. And making animations with Anime Studio is pretty simple. I'm going to go to my objects. I'm going to grab a rectangle. I'm going to go ahead and put it in the screen. So you might have a yellow trash can, but I think the prototypic trash can is silver colored, and we'll add a little bit of shading to it. And let's make that shading from where do we want it? From the top, maybe like that. That looks pretty good. We'll click OK. You'll notice over here on this side of the screen, and I hope it's in view. If not, it should be in view now. Here's our object. Here are our layers. And I'm just going to go ahead and add a few more shapes into here just to make it look more interesting, more like a real kind of trash can. When I think of a trash can, I think of Oscar the Grouch from Sesame Street. So here we go. Here's a trash can, and I might even want to lighten up the fill inside the trash can and give it a little more depth, make it a little more interesting looking. And if I wanted to, because these are inside, maybe I should make them darker even. Maybe that would be better. Let's see what that looks like. You notice I'm just changing the fill. That looks pretty good. That's perfect for our purposes. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save this as, and I'm going to create a asset repository, an asset folder. So we're going to call this trash can. And we're not going to put it there. We're going to go, if I click on this button here, hopefully you can see, I'm going to pick an other location, and I'm going to go to, where's our game? Screencast demo, and I'm going to create a new folder in there. I'm going to call it Anime Assets. That's fine. So we're going to save this right in there, and then we're going to export this. Now we're going to probably make a bunch of animations, but for right now, we're just going to take this one frame, and I'm going to export it as a PNG file. That will retain my layer information if I want to manipulate it later. And you can't see it, but at the bottom of the screen, the Anime Studio renderer is running, and it's taking this one image and it's exporting it so that I can use it in Anime Studio. Excuse me, so that I can use it in Unity. So it's just about done. The more frames you have, the longer it takes for it to be done rendering. So it's just about done. And I'm going to go in and load my Finder. I'm going to bring my Finder into view. Going into my server here. Unity Games. Catch game. Screencast demo. Anime assets. And we can see our PNG file right there. So now I'm going to pull up Unity. And I'm going to go to our hat. You can see it right there. And this is loading up all of our options for our hat. And our hat front is the thing that we see the most of. And we can tell that by just turning off that renderer. That's all that's in the back. The hat front is what we're seeing. So I'm going to drag this. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to go to my assets. I'm going to close out my example game. I'm going to create a new folder. I'm going to call it sprites. And this is going to be for my new sprites. And I'm going to go ahead and pull up my Finder. I'm going to drag my trash can right from the Finder right into the sprites. And if I click on the sprites folder, there it is. So now I'm going to go back up to my hat front. I'm going to drag the trash can into the hat front sprite, and now all of a sudden my hat became a trash can. And if I play the game, it should work, and Unity doesn't know the difference. It's now got a trash can where there used to be a hat. That's how easy it is. Ball goes in, bomb goes boom, ball goes in. It works just fine. So we know at this point that we didn't want to just have the game catching the bowling balls, but we know that this part works. Our next step is going to be make a prefab for a trash item. So that's what we'll do next.